Jim Juback, and welcome to today's YouTube video for March 1st. Happy March! We finally made it. Okay, most important thing in the world is that my daughter's new EP has just dropped streaming, so check out Bodega Cats. That's the name of the EP, and her nom de musique is Lunoctium. Lunoctium. So check it out. There's also a large library, surprisingly for someone who's only 21, of past songs. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you get notification that we're doing a new one. And we do about 3 a week, but not always on the same day. If you want more of my stuff, you can go to my free site. That's jubackpicks.com, where you get 3 portfolios. Or you can go to my paid site, jubackam.com, where there's 6 portfolios, including some options and ETFs and all that. So today's topic is, will China send the global economy surging? And we'll really know the answer to this on Sunday. It's the opening of what is about a week-long meeting of the National People's Congress in China, which is an annual event. So the Congress meets, the leaders make the decisions behind the scenes, and then the People's Congress rubber stamps them. But those decisions are going to be very important right now. Last year's China's GDP grew at only about 3%. It's expected that the target this year will be 5% or higher. So to get to the higher, they're going to have to do something to stimulate. At the same time, there's a lot of pressure on them not to build up more debt. I put up a post on the huge looming debt crisis in China's regional and provincial governments on the site today, so you can check that out. But the whole problem is that you've got huge amounts of local debt. Local governments can't pay. This is the stimulus vehicle that the government uses to get the economy rolling, typically, which is that they ask the local governments to go deeper into debt to finance infrastructure, etc. Thinking before this meeting is that they're actually going to the central government is actually going to set a lower limit for the amount of bonds that local governments can offer to sell this year than last year, which would imply that they're not going to do as much stimulus. At the same time, as there's a lot of pressure on the People's Bank to cut interest rates, because that would stimulate the economy. And some of this pressure is coming from a real sort of sense that there's a rising tide, and it's still a very low tide, of disgruntlement with the Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping's leadership that comes out of the COVID crisis and the way it was handled with shutdowns and the way it was handled when they did away with all restrictions. A number of people died. There's this real anger in China about this. That plus the fact that the economy has been very, very slow because of COVID, but other reasons. Other reasons include China's really rapidly aging population and the fact that they have very little in the way of retirement infrastructure for an aging population. It doesn't look like there's anything that China can do about this, because some of the reasons for the aging population is that China had a one-child policy for a long time, which discouraged children. It's done away with that. But now it looks like people are simply on their own deciding they can't afford to, don't want to have more than one child, maybe 2. So how you turn around that kind of pessimism about the future is really a problem. So anyway, I think we're going to get some stimulus news. If you look at an index fund like the iShares China Large-Cap ETF, which captures a lot of the state-owned and larger private companies, you notice it's been down. This is the chart, down for much of 2023, and then recently sort of looks like it may have set a bottom, and it looks like it's been moving up. If this continues, this would be a good way to ride the stimulus, because the stimulus would go, first of all, to these large companies. This is an easily tradable index. I think I recently added it to my my ETF portfolio on my paid site, so you can follow it. FXI is the ticker. So if you like this video, please like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can get notification when we do our next one. You can get more of my stuff on my free portfolio, gbagpicks.com. You can get even more, including the ETF portfolio that will include the China exposure on my paid site, that's gbagam.com. Thanks very much for watching.